My name is Katarina. Let's plantize our world. Here is another story on how my lifestyle choices impact my well-being. Today I will speak on sleep. But first, just to introduce the weekly vegetable, which I didn't do last week, but I was traveling, which is not an excuse. Here is, I'm up in the mountains here of New Zealand, and here is watercress. Watercress is wonderful. It grows along creeks, only harvested along creeks that have clear water and clean water. And it belongs to the cruciferous vegetables, which are the arugula, bok choy, broccoli, cauliflower, all of those. Kale, of course, as well. So it's a really wonderful addition to your salads, and you can boil it if you like. So, watercress. Right, sleep. It is really important. And of course, sleep is connected to all other lifestyle choices and lifestyle, medicine pillars like nutrition. For example, if you don't sleep well, you don't absorb your nutrition as well. Your microbiome is not as strong. Your stress level are higher. You probably haven't got as much patience when you're always tired. Your organs are not being served as well as they should and not being repaired as well. You have no desire to move. If you're tired, you don't feel like exercising, walking up a hill or anything like this. So sleep is a really important one, and quite a lot of us don't get enough. In fact, last week I had like a whole stretch where I only got 5 to 6 hours, and that's not good for me. And I could feel it. I did not feel well. In fact, and this is maybe not really what someone should say on a video, but in fact I had diarrhea because it upset my whole digestive system so much. Because I'm a person who needs 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I'm a very high energy person. So when I wake up, I am energetic until I put my head down. So I use up a lot of energy, I guess, and so I need a lot of rest time to, recuperate from my very active daily activities. And it's probably like a child. Children are like this. My dogs are hopping around in the back. They're having a great time up here. So what can we do to sleep better? There are a couple of things we can do. For example, we can prepare ourselves better for the sleep. We can have a wind down time in the evening. And I'm not really good at this, I must admit. Preparing for sleep is, don't eat too late. Eat 6 or 7 o'clock if you're going to bed at 10 o'clock. So you have about 2 to 3 hours to digest what you have eaten for dinner, so that when you go to bed and you can rest, your digestion is sort of done and your body doesn't have to work, and it can go into this repair mode. So when we're sleeping, that's why sleep is so important. It repairs our cells, because things happen during the day when we eat, when we metabolize food. There's always rubbish that is chucked out in our body. There are cells dying and cells that need repair, that are damaged. So that's what our body does during the night. So when we prepare for sleep, let's have a little bit less light towards when we're going to bed. Don't have bright lights. Try not to do computer work on bright screens, watching TV on bright screens. Let's try to wind down. Maybe just read a book with a normal light, because that's is a natural thing. If it gets darker in nature, our body starts to produce what's called melatonin. And that is a hormone that makes us sleepy. So try that. Drink a nice relaxing evening tea with chamomile, lavender, those things, which are calming. Then during the sleep, it's great if we have a cool sleeping area, but of course if we live in the tropics, that's not always possible. But here in New Zealand, it's really easy because it often gets cool during the night. Even if we had a 27-degree day, we often have only 20 degrees or 18 degrees or even 15 degrees during the night. So maybe keep a little window open to cool down, bring in some fresh air. Then try to be in a dark space. Again, because of that melatonin. It just helps for a deep, restorative sleep. And quiet. Well, if you're living in a city where you hear sirens and people shouting and cars and stuff like this, it might pay to buy some earplugs if you can and put them in. I'm very lucky. I live in a tiny little town of about, I think we're only about 150 or 200 people, and it's dead quiet. The only thing which sometimes is a little bit loud, because I live only 5 minutes away from the ocean and it has really big waves, and on a stormy night it's extremely noisy. There are waves crashing onto the stone beach. But hey, I am happy to put up with that. Then waking up sort of belongs to that whole cycle. Wake up gently if you can, and go outside and let the sun or the daylight into your eyes, because what happens, nature is just amazing. I don't know if you can see me very well. I think it's a little bit shady, but that's the best I can do for now. You can see the bright grass in the background, bright nature. Nature is amazing when the sun rises and it enters our eyes and our skin. The body produces another hormone. It's magic, isn't it? It's called serotonin, and that makes us feel well, awake, happy, and so that's a great one. I thought I'll share my morning routine with you. It's just what I do every morning. Maybe one day I'll change it, but at the moment I really enjoy that little routine. And so come along and see my morning routine. Sleep is important. Make sure you do get enough sleep. Prioritize sleep, because it is a really important part of our well-being, and it often gets neglected. So I hope you're going to have a lovely sleep tonight, and these little tips and tricks are going to help you out. Ka kite! My all-time favorite breakfast that I always come back to is a green smoothie, but with extra nice things added. The base of it is 1 cup of frozen fruits, and you can use berries, or I have frozen mango here. You can also use your fruits from your garden like nectarines or peaches or plums, but they need to be frozen. Having a frozen component in the smoothie helps it to keep cool, and if you're blending it with a high-speed blender, it creates a little bit of warmth, and this helps it to keep it cool and not diminish the vitamins and minerals. Then 1 banana. This gives you the creaminess, and this is also, of course, making it nice and sweet. Take a very ripe banana if you can. Then 2 cups of kale, any kale you want to, whatever you have available in your country. 1 cup of plant milk, and the extra specials, minerals, vitamins, and phytonutrients that come from seeds and herbs and spices. So this is you might think this is really weird what she's doing here, but this is my favorite combination. So there is a tablespoon of wheat germs, a tablespoon of flax seeds, or linseed some people call it, a teaspoon of my favorite pumpkin pie spice mix, which contains cloves, allspice, lots of cinnamon, which is wonderful for your heart health. What else do I put in there? Let me see, I have it over here, and I can tell you exactly. In fact, I have a video on this channel explaining what to put in. Cinnamon, I said, ginger, yeah, awesome, allspice, nutmeg, and clove. So there you go. That's my homemade pumpkin pie spice mix. And then here's something really special. It's called amla in India. It's called the Indian gooseberry, and it's extremely sour, but it's has one of the highest antioxidant qualities. So I add it to every morning green smoothie. So here you go. Now when you're layering it into a blender like this, have the soft things, which is in this case the kale, at the bottom. Go. Then add your heavy things, like the frozen fruit. Oops, hard to film and do the job at the same time. Then add your bananas. There we go. Then add all your spices and seeds. The omega-3s in your flax seeds is wonderful also for anti-inflammatory reactions. You can add water, or if you add plant milk, you have a bit of a boost of protein. Although there is protein in everything I've just put in. There is protein in mango, there is protein in kale, there's protein in bananas, there's protein everywhere in different quantities. So that's it. You can add, maybe, I like my smoothie thick, because I'm gonna make a smoothie bowl. So I don't add too much liquid, just so that it can blend it. blended the smoothie for roughly 2 minutes. If you have a smaller blender, you might want to blend it a little bit longer because it needs to be smooth and creamy. And have a look how thick it is. This is sort of the consistency I like. But everyone is different. If you want it on the go for drinking, you definitely need to add more liquid. And then step 2 of my breakfast is adding half a cup of beans. I know it's terrible. It's not terrible, but it's just what I like. It adds, of course, a massive amount of protein. So you can add any beans, red kidney beans. These are the ones I use, cannellini beans, black beans, whatever you like. Actually, my favorite is soybeans, but I forgot to boil them. I usually boil them from scratch. Actual soybeans, they're so lovely. They're small and they are nice and fatty. So yeah, I just add my beans like this, which is a punch of nutrients. Then I add, so let's see how I can do this with holding the camera. I cannot. Then I add a small handful of walnuts for healthy fats, a little bit more omega-3s. Then I add cacao nibs. This is the, see if I can show it clearly. Yeah, this is the cacao bean from which chocolate is made, and they ferment the bean before they make chocolate from it. And this is the fermented bean which then would be further processed to take the cacao butter out, take the cocoa powder out, you know, all those, and make chocolate as well by adding fat and sugar and stuff. So this is the original, as close as you can get to eating raw chocolate without anything added. It's just a cacao bean which grows on a tree, fermented and broken up in pieces. I add a small handful of this, and then this is not very sweet, this smoothie here, because it has so much kale in it. I add some bursts of sweetness, and that's just a little handful of raisins or sultanas, whatever you prefer. So this is my favorite breakfast. Another tip, if you like it even more creamy, you could add tofu. That would have to go in, well, it doesn't have to, you can also cube it and chuck it in like that, but probably nicer is if you cube it and then put it into the smoothie and blend it with. So there you go. This is my all-time favorite breakfast. I have gone, oh, I'm all shiny. I have gone and eaten oatmeal with berries, overnight oats, scrambled tofu. That takes for me a little bit too long, the time. Cooked grains with beans. That's quite fast too. But I always come back to my green smoothie. So I hope you're gonna try it out sometime. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this breakfast, this green breakfast. Another trick, if you use, let's say, blueberries, frozen blueberries, or blackberries, or dark plums or something like this in the smoothie, your smoothie will go brown because green and red turns into brown. It's the color, you know, combinations that create different colors. So I, for this actual reason, like to use anything light, like mango, apple, anything sort of white. So I have this bright greenness, which is also attractive to me because I eat with my eyes. I think we all do, and I try to prepare it really nicely. So enjoy, let me know what you think, if it's crazy to eat greens and beans for breakfast. But I love it, and that's what matters to me. Ka kite!